My name is Zanetta Stallworth. I'm affiliated with American Federation of Teachers, and I'm a staff rep for service personnel for the state of West Virginia for AFT.
So, where do you operate from in general?
In general, our office is in Charleston, West Virginia.
And so, where are we today and what's happening?
Well, we're in a mess right now. Today, we are surrounded by teachers, educators, service personnel who are all frustrated and just really upset with what's going on currently with our legislator not wanting to give the 5% increase as it was promised.
And so, what have you done in response?
Well, what we've done in response, we've sat down, we've tried to sit down with the Senate, with the governor to discuss what he had promised, and we've sat down with other educators to see, for them to come together and to express their concern about not getting what they were promised.
So, when was the strike announced?
When was it not announced? Well, it was really not really, how can I say it, it was a work stoppage that was announced, we're back. A work stoppage that started probably about a week ago, or that, what have you, about a week ago. And basically the work stoppage was for us to come 2 days to the Capitol to talk with our legislators to see what they could do about, number one, fixing PEIA, the 5% increase, taking seniority bill off the table, also payroll protection off, and also the education savings bill grants that would allow charter schools money from public education to be taken from public education to charter schools.
And so, I know it wasn't an easy decision to decide to take this action. What other avenues did you pursue before doing it?
It was several avenues that we pursued before actually taking the action. The action, we had informational pickets where we were just passing out information to our leaders throughout the community as to what was going on, what we were desiring. We had requests on a number of occasions of wanting to sit down with the governor to discuss our demands, and we finally did get a conversation with the governor. I think after the third day being out, we did finally get a sit down with him to discuss the demands that we were asking, and they were agreed. Some of them were agreed upon. There was a 5% increase that was agreed for teachers, service personnel, state employees, and public employees. And in addition to that, the seniority bill was going to be removed off the table to be heard. Payroll protection bill was going to be removed off the table to be heard. And also, in addition to that, it was another bill that was off of there that we had seniority, the main thing, seniority to be removed. There were several things, and we had agreed upon that. And our leaders, based on our agreement, announced on the steps last Monday that there had been agreement signed by the governor and that asking the employees to return to work, on that Thursday. Well, the bill was then presented to the House for review. The House reviewed it. They submitted it to the Senate. The Senate did everything, stalled it, keep it from going through. They were tabling it. They had a committee meeting. Then they came back with 4%. They were doing everything in the world but giving us what we had initially requested. And if you really want to know the truth of the matter, 5% is really not a whole lot when you consider what our educators do for this system throughout, not just the state of West Virginia, but the world.
What has to happen for this work stoppage to end then? And who are the people stopping that from happening?
For this to end, all our demands have to be met. We want a 5% increase. We want a permanent, fully funded PEIA source. And in addition to that, we want to keep everything off the table as they had previously said they would. And it will probably begin there with them committing, standing behind their commitment of fixing it. But it's the Senate who's holding it up. They will not commit to it. They are going back and forth for reducing the amount of what we initially asked for. So that's who's really holding this process up, the Senate.
So how does this event play in West Virginia's history?
This is one of the most historical events. As you know, West Virginia is known for striking, and I think this is another historical event that people will never forget. When you had 55 counties that came together to stand up for what they believe and know is right. I think this will go down in the history books as West Virginia always does. We set the tone of what it means to stand up and fight.
And what is AFT going to be working on after the strike is done?
Well, after the strike is done, we're going to be working with members and making to ensure them that working with the task force to ensure that they do fix PEIA, because PEIA is really a major concern for educators, state employees, public employees as well. So AFT will be closely monitoring that to ensure that that they are working on it, and they will come up with a permanent solution that will be beneficial to all who has a PEIA.
Thank you.
Thank you.